Alright, so I've just finished a weapon list spreadsheet, which I'm going to share with all of you. So I'm just gonna go over it with you guys so you can kind of understand the icons in case it's not as intuitive as I wanted it to be. So, well, first let's just go through the list a bit. As you can see, it's separated by character. It contains all the weapons that are in the game right now. So from the top, you can see the icons there on the left. It's the 8-bit from Final Fantasy Record Keeper on the left, and then the one from the game right now, 3D animation one. So you can easily spot which character you want to get. You want to look the weapons for. So we got the name, Cloud, Barret, Tifa. That should be easy to find whoever you're looking for. And then the source. So basically, like, all characters have 8 weapons, which are the basic ones that you will find in the free draws or the ticket draws. Cloud has a tutorial weapon, as probably all know. The Buster Sword came for free, overboosted. Look at the summon weapons with the little icon there, purple icon. So Shiva, Ifrit, and Ramu. And then we've got the banners. As you can see, I put a slot machine icon with the date, and it leads to their Twitter page. And also, of course, the event one, like for Zack and Glenn. So basically, I've used icons like this to make it easier in the future to sort the lists. For example, if you wanted to see just the event weapons, then you'll be able to press right-click on the E and then sort alphabetically or whatever. Same goes for all the other stats, like you can see there is the element one. I can see the ice icon, lightning, water, fire, ice. So by right-clicking on the eye above, you can order them, so you can just spot easily which, if you're looking for an ice weapon, you can do super easily who has that ice weapon, if it's AoE or a single target. So speaking of which, as you can see, there's dots, like red dots, blue dots. Single dots are single target. Triple dots are, all 3 enemies, AoE. Then you've got the elements, so there's 6 elements: fire, ice, water, wind, ground, and lightning, thunder, whatever. And they're all there, so you'll be able to sort using that. You can sort by AoE if you want. Red is enemy on the dots. Blue is friendlies. Green, pretty rare, there's only 2 of those. Green is for self-skills. Tifa has 1, and then we've got Lucia with 1 as well. For now, the 2 self-skills are pretty much heals combined with cure, like removal of, if we look at Tifa, it's removal of poison and silence, while Lucia's is removal of poison and blind. Not that it's implemented yet, but... oh wait, yeah, it is implemented. There was the battle with the watermelon. And then you can see the icon, like the muscle and the crystal ball, the shield, and the little stars. So there's 4 icons there. Basically, it's physical damage, magical damage, a buff, a shield buff, like, well, it includes, well, defense buff, whatever. Physical and magic, depends on which, but yeah. And the little stars is for healing, so a crystal sword for Cloud, for example, and Tifa's green gloves. lifeguard wraps. And of course, Aerith's fairy tale, which is a favorite among the fans. And then you can also see the icon, radioactive icon, or bio icon thing, just for the effects of the weapons. So Cloud's Buster Sword, the special effect is that it's a sigil break, so it saves you a material spot. Then P attack down, P def down, P def up. Organics is a very special weapon, as in it can stun the enemy. That's the stun icon. It's the only weapon in the game right now that can stun. Just to stay on the subject, there's also one more weapon which may be interesting. Is let's go down. Lucia's Black Rifle can silence. So I don't think many people dwelled into those effects yet, but some bosses, I believe, are not immune to all statuses like that, so that could be useful. Maybe the bombs too, if you can disable the bombs explosion for harder summon battles. So then we've got the heal icon, which is the cute little heart there, but if you're on Windows, it's the red heart. So because this is on my iPhone, so iOS and Windows icons are slightly different, but it's similar enough that it shouldn't be too confusing. So we can see Barrett's has Gatling gun can sigil break X's, and now maybe the less familiar sigil that you can see there for Max Ray. That's the difficult sigil to break. Like, there is no material that allows you to break those sigils. Probably saw it on the tank with roller boss or Ifrit on hard and above. They have that sigil, which if you don't use those weapons, you only break one at a time, but if you use that weapon, you can break 3 at a time like any normal sigil break material. On the subject of that sigil, let's call it the diamond sigil. There's 3 weapons that allow you to break it. So there's Barrett, Max Ray, there is Glenn's Rest in Peace, and Lucia's Born Swallow. So those are 3 weapons which I hope you have one of at least. Give you some more possibilities there, because yeah, like no material for it. So you should get one of those 3 at least. Anything else in the specials there? Okay, there's region, for example. I didn't write the percentage of everything yet right now. I think I will add the percentage more later. Region is a tougher one because it doesn't really clearly state how much it does, but it did seem to be good enough to be kind of on par with the AoE heals. At least when it's upgraded with a longer duration. And then we've got the Seaside color here. You can see it's a lightning def debuff, which is pretty unique. There is no other character that has an element defense debuff. So yeah, red is cool with that weapon for that. Goes well with everybody's Murazame Cloud. After that, we've got there was the round sigil too on Zack here. But note that there is no weapon, as far as I know, that does the triangle sigil, unless I missed something. Because this is my first, it's the first time I've made the list. I haven't reviewed it all that much, so there could be a few mistakes, but I've been careful enough. I hope there is not any. You can compare, like, for now it's just the percentage. I just added the percentage for the status effects and the heals. You can see, like, Cloud heals when the sword, crystal sword, is at just 5 stars, or versus when it's at max overboost from 50 to 71%, while Aerith has a bit more. Of course, the single target heals are stronger. You can see difference here between 50% and 80%. Zack's sword heals a lot more. Matt's too, I guess. And then yeah, I guess you can expect that a lot of the new weapons will have more of those status effects, but for now Cloud Sword and Lucia's are pretty special weapons. If you guys want to try out what are the possibilities with that, but if you look at the boss stage selection, quest selection, you can click the boss icon, you can see what are the immunities. You know, sometimes they have attack def immunities, but the statuses depends on the boss. Then one more to the right is the material slots. As you can see, it's 3 blue materials like in the game. The icons are taken from the game, so it should be familiar to all of you. So one more thing you're gonna notice is that all the materials, the 2 first, are always the same ones. So either attack for 10%, physical attack for 20%, or magical attack for 20%. So that's a constant. Every time you see an attack icon, like, so that's the sword and the staff together, that's always 10%. If you see a sword or a staff, it's always 20%. And well, I get into it, but on the right there's also sometimes elemental icons. So let's see, Cloud has wind on his iron blade there as the 3rd slot for his material. That's elemental icons are always 30%. So they're pretty powerful. So that's gonna work with both magic and physical. Those weapons will become very valuable. So you can see Cloud, the iron blade is wind, butterfly edge, ice. Other characters have different elements, so Barret has lightning and ground, Tifa, fire, water. But not everybody has some, like Aerith's weapons don't have elemental slots for the materials. But she does have good elemental weapons. So. And then again on those, so the 3rd material slot is sometimes has those special effects. So you can see also Organics, for example, has a heal slot. That's the little stars. So that's gonna buff your heal by 20% if I remember correctly. They're pretty rare. Not everybody has one. Tifa has, Aerith has, but as you can see, Barret doesn't have a heal slot material. Red has one, so they I guess most of them have one or none. Half of them have one. And then we can go into there's a duration one. As you can see, Barret Heavy Vulcan has like a clock timer thing on the 3rd slot for the material, so that's extended duration for the buffs and debuffs. Well, there's not many of those yet, so just your barrier and breach. I haven't tried breach, but maybe breach fits in that category, and also of course the fans' favorite D-Brave that a lot of people just threw away because yeah, it was a single star material and nobody knew that they wouldn't be able to craft new ones. And finally, some of you may have noticed there is a triangle circle there, probably also the X, yeah, the X. So those are also pretty powerful. What they do is if you put a ruined material in those, you can destroy 5 sigils instead of just 3. So yeah, so if you have your circle material inside the Maritime Swarm at level 70, you unlock the final slot there. You put your circle sigil material inside that slot. Now every time you hit, you're gonna hit for 5. Well, it's +2, so I guess depending on your command stance, it might be less than 5, but yeah, up to 5 instead of 3, which is gonna make a lot of battles easier, I guess, if you were having trouble with Sigil Destruction. But then also, if you don't have trouble with Sigil Destruction, you can now have one of your 3 guys avoid having to use a Sigil Destruction material now. Instead, use one of those weapons. So a lot of characters have 1 or 2, I guess, you can see. I'm actually considering changing those icons, because those are not icons, they're actually pictures, so it cannot be sorted by, so I'm thinking to change those into normal icons, so we can sort them in order. As you can see, I haven't added yet the passives, which are called our abilities. So basically every weapon has 2. Well, you guys probably know them. We'll add those later. I'm just still thinking if I should do minimum, maximum, or just a 5-star basic stat, or yeah, it's brainstorming on that. Also brainstorming on adding the weapon's actual damage, like except for the shields and heals, like melee and magical attacks, they all have a percentage damage. But they're usually like pretty close, so if it's a single target with no debuff of any sort, it's usually like very powerful. If it's a multi-target, it's gonna be like half to a bit more than half damage. If there's a debuff, it's gonna be again like a bit more than half, just half damage. So as a general rule, the damage of the weapon is what will make logical sense based on the other effects. So AoE less damage, debuffs less damage. And then we've got, just want to make a mention there in case you guys, some of you still don't know, the event weapons. Okay, there's a dangerous trap there, so Beach Parasol for Zac and Glenn's Thousand Waves. Those weapons are actually super weak. So you might think, oh, it's over boosted, so it's super cool, it's for free, but like the maximum overboost, we'll call it, it's overboost 10, alright? That's the maximum, like when it's all white or pink, depending on your eyesight. So at 10, those event weapons are basically just the equivalent of overboost, let's say 3 of any other weapon. So before you spend your hard-earned uncapped materials on them, think carefully, okay, because you might regret it, especially those level 90 like golden ore chunks that come from Crisis dungeons that are super rare. So definitely do not use it on those 2 weapons. Okay, that'd be crazy. Even the level 80 or 70 materials, like I understand because everybody started and you had that weapon for free, so I'm sure a lot of you have it already level 70 or 80, but long term that's not a great investment. So I wouldn't do it unless you're kind of stuck with farming and you really need to push right now to be able to finish whatever you're trying to do. But yeah, think carefully. Because let's make one comparison. For example, the maximum stats of the event weapon versus the maximum stat of a normal weapon. The event weapon has like 60% of the stats. Okay, but not only that, also the special damage, like for example the parasol is like 500%, but other single target weapons will do like 800%. So again, there we got like a 60% of the potential. And on top of that, you also have the fact that, well, the passives are also not as useful. Like it's going to be HP instead of damage oriented. So combine those three things and it's just way weaker. So yeah, I digress. Is there something else I wanted to add there? So yeah, the cool weapons. Got those Sigil break ones, those special status ones like Organics and Lucia's Silence, which are worth looking into. And then you want to aim for a weapon with extra materia and elemental boost on the third slot. Those are going to be really good weapons. And I guess that's the end of this. I'm going to be adding a link to this sheet in the description, so everybody's welcome to access it. Also, the note above there, you can see so non-elemental attacks have 10% crit chance. That applies to magic and physical. So all magic and physical weapons have a 10% chance to crit. So I didn't write it in the description of the weapon because it's just redundant since all of them are the same. If there is no element, it's 10% crit chance. If there is an element, it does not crit. Some of you know already if you read the tips in the game, maybe. And so, yeah. Alright, see ya.